I woke up after 4 this morning to the sound of heavy winds and rains being smashed against the house.
Jam from family, the Jam from family, yeah. Jam fam, come hang with me. Hello. Well, go and big up yourself for the there, bro. Welcome to Life at the Jam Fam.
Each island, whether big, small, matters. When it comes to the weather, we are just tracking it, and that's what we do together. So here's Jamaica. Thank you for leaving the comments, location, what you have going on. I've been watching those all through the night and this morning with some heavier areas of rain as Rafael is working its way through Jamaica right now.
This is something you really want to consider for those people who are thinking about repatriating to Jamaica. You really want to consider the time period, two things with the Jamaican weather. So you want to be considering the time period between June and November, when it is hurricane time. You really want to be thinking about it because you can experience hurricane and storms, and they can this year, for example, it's been so active in the Caribbean. It's just all over the place, the possibility of having a hurricane coming, and we just had to be watching and monitoring and just praying that none hits Jamaica. And of course we know that Beryl hit, and now we have a tropical storm, Rafael, that is now on the island. And so this is something to consider because it's going to be very important about where you live, because you then have to think about where you're going to live based on this phenomenon we have in the Caribbean, these hurricanes and storms that are likely to come, because with it comes the problem. Because for the hurricane and the storms, when they're passing, the wind is an issue and the rain, but we also have the effect of the landslides and the floodings and the displacement of roofs and the damages that can be done to homes and furnishing and properties. And so if you're not from an area where you experience storms and hurricanes and these phenomena, it's something that's worth thinking about very, very thoroughly before you make the choice to move to Jamaica. And when you do, you need to be conscious about where exactly in Jamaica you're going to be living based on how these places are impacted by this condition. I can still hear the rain coming down on my roof outside, but I thought I need to get this video made so that I can talk about it in this time and in this season, because the fact of the matter is it's worth considering. And then when all of this hurricane season goes and we have the nice cool weather from now back up to February, but then the next bit of the time that we need to be concerned with is afterwards. So from the point we get into March up to the July and even into the summer, and it's very hot, scorching hot. And then you get through that spell where from March up until about May time, when we have some dry spells, and the fact that some places experiencing drought and things like those. So the contrast between the two seasons and the phenomenon is quite significant, because you have the hurricane and with it comes the lots of rain, and then on the other side of it we have the drought which comes with the dry spell. So it's worth considering, because then you'll also need to think about your accessibility to water and your water supply that you're going to have, and how to make sure that you have water at all times to be used. Because although we have the National Water Commission, we know that the reservoirs and water storage in Jamaica still needs improvement in order to meet the constant need for water for its people. And so people have been able to do their own form of water harvesting just to ensure that they can top up on what the National Water Commission does for them to make sure they have constant water, whilst other people implement other water storage facilities so that they can store the water that comes from National Water Commission for those points in time when either the pressure of the water goes down or the water is turned off altogether, so that it helps them to cover those times and not be as affected by it as people who don't put those provisions in place. And this is a problem in countries like ours, and we're not immune to it. It also happens in other countries in the Caribbean, but it's worth looking at how you can make sure that you're sorted for your water need when you do make that move to Jamaica. So I'm not sure if you've ever been through a hurricane or a tropical storm before. If you have, tell us which one it is in the comment down below, and tell us what your experience was like, and where were you when you experienced it? Were you in Jamaica or were you in some other parts of the world? And it would be good to know and to hear. So again, if you're contemplating coming to Jamaica, remember, we are a country that experiences hurricanes and storms, and so it's worth doing your investigation to make sure that where you're coming will be secure, so you will be have as little impact. It will have as little impact as possible on you. I mean, there are things that we cannot avoid. This morning, in the 4:30 to 5:30 region, when I was up, I had the light on and it went. And whether it's the heavy winds that has put the light out, or the JPS turned the light off for safety, we had no light for that period of time. But by the time we got into the morning, I realized that the light was back, and so we could charge our devices. And so far, in spite of the wind, we've maintained light, so we haven't lost our electricity, and so that's a good thing in this storm. If it was more severe one, then either it would be switched off for safety, or it could be that we have down poles, because until the electric supply is run underground, when we have these hurricanes and storms, we'll constantly be affected. Our supply of it will constantly be affected, because poles can be down, wires can be broken in the winds, and all of those things. I'm happy that so far, where I'm at least, there is no problem. So we live in a part of the country where I live, I don't really have any issue with flooding. Unfortunately, there are other places where people are experiencing flooding currently, and so in that regard, we are safe. And also, at the moment, we have no issue with electricity, so we still get our electric supply. And although we had a long period of time where we didn't have any, we went for a little bit over a week without any when Beryl happened, but then we got back onto the grid. I'm conscious that there are places in St. Elizabeth and other parts of the south who don't have internet back yet. Some of them don't even have their electricity up and running back yet, because they haven't even gotten over that, and now they're being hit with another storm. I'm hoping that they're still being kept secure and watertight wherever they are. Once you're contemplating moving to Jamaica, it's worth contemplating where you're going to be living, so that you're in a place where some of the impacts that comes as a result of hurricanes and storms will have a significantly lower impact on you, or affect you and your family a lot less. So that's another thing that you need to put into the bag when you're contemplating your move to Jamaica. I woke up after 4 this morning to the sound of heavy winds and rains being smashed against the house, and make sure to set up so that no water can come in through anywhere, like when it came in for Beryl the other day. And now we're going into the afternoon and we're still having heavy rains and gusty winds. Winds were a little bit higher moments ago when I picked the camera up. It's not as windy now, but we're still having the wind and rain. Hopefully by the time nightfall, it will be a little bit better. So far, this is what it's like. That's the most of the wind movement from the front. It's picked up again now. You can see the trees swaying as it goes through. I was even supposed to go to a meeting today. I've been calling the office and trying to contact and not getting any response. So although I can hear vehicle passing on the road, one not the one immediately before our house, but the road out a little bit further, I can hear vehicle passing on it, but it's not a lot of vehicle moving. So there is a swell of wind moving again. You probably just saw that tree flicked into the camera just now. That's it, swaying. How does it feel to just experience, oh my goodness, hear the rain coming down. How does it feel to just experience a hurricane in July and now going through a tropical storm.
It doesn't feel anyway.
Okay. So what's your best thing about today?
Not going to school.
I think many of the offices that are closed would probably be saying the same thing, that that's their best thing about today, having an opportunity to stay home and rest. But you weren't staying home and resting.
Technically, I got to rest.
But you did have to do schoolwork, didn't you?
Yeah, but most of the teachers didn't have internet, so we didn't get that much.
You didn't get a lot like you would normally, but you did get online work to do. And you said something about having work set even for tomorrow already.
Which means that there's no school.
Well, we could assume there won't be any.
So that's okay.
So what are you doing?
I'm playing Dress to Impress.
Oh. So how many activities are you doing? Well, the fact that you finished all of your... She woke up so early this morning, got onto the online learning platform, saw that get her work
I was
done.
on note giving duty.
Oh, is that for one of your groups?
Yes, I had to give out the notes because I'm the admin for the group.
So one of the teacher made her the student ambassador for the class, and so she had to give out some of the work that she sent. She had to make sure that all of the students got it, and she finished all of her work. I was quite impressed by her level of responsibility and accountability, getting it all done.
I have some notes still.
You still have
Notes.
to take that you haven't done yet?
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to get it done after this activity. And you've been busy doing stuff, so it's okay to take a break. So what are you getting up to next?
We're going to finally sort out the activity.
Okay, that's fine. We'll go and work on that, but I'm going to work on my tummy and having dinner first. It is now what time?
4:45.
It's now 4:45, and Eliona is watching her program in between playing her game. I think she's finding it difficult to decide which one to do. Is that it?
No,
Okay.
I'm multitasking.
Okay, I follow. So that's where we're at now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to leave you to finish your multitasking and go. My biggest thing about this storm is that I wanted this to have passed. I don't want to be in the night and sleeping and then having things happening. Like when I woke up out of my sleep this morning after 4, all I could hear was just the heavy winds and the water, and you know how that sound when the wind is pushing the water around in the air and it's making that sound and then hitting on things like on the windows or things like that. And that alerted me this morning to get up and just make sure that everywhere is watertight. And once I've done that, then it was just okay, well, let Rafael run its course. But now we're in the evening when I would have expected that it would have passed the island already, and we're still having quite a lot of wind and rain still. We've had the rain non-stop most of today, so hopefully by the time we have nightfall it won't be that bad, and we'll not have to worry about it overnight is my hope. But we know that it will pass, and it is causing some flooding in different parts of the country. Our prayers are with those people who are experiencing flooding. Some people have been needed to evacuate from their accommodation to go to shelters because of the amount of rain that's coming down. We just pray that everybody stays safe and we have no loss of life in the process by people just doing the right thing and going where they need to go. Hopefully it will be well. Let us know what it's like where you are if you're in Jamaica, and tell us in the comments down below how you fared. We just want to know that everybody is doing well. Now night has fallen, and look at the wind picking up still and swaying around. It's not been done any justice by the camera, but if you can probably see how it's moving, and all of that rain still coming down. And so we're just hoping that we won't go into the night with this, or it won't get any worse than it is now. Look at the rain. As the wind is pushing it, you can see it at the top of the camera. Now, we're hoping that it will subside soon. Thank you for staying with us on this another episode of Life with the Jam Fam, a special one just to show you what we're experiencing here at the moment. Hopefully you can hear what's happening.
The Jam Fam family. We're Irie, living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam Fam family, the Jam Fam family, yeah. Jam Fam, come hang with me. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.